All right, so check over here. Most ad accounts, they fail before they even spend a single dollar. And the reason is actually quite simple. It's because of a little thing in their setup that they overlook most times. And as a result, they will continue to run even the best ads ever. I'm talking about next level creatives. But if this one specific setting is not put into place, they will fail miserably. And in fact, you will not only attract bad leads, in other words, they're unqualified, they don't show up to calls, they can't afford your services. That is all you will continue to attract, and it'll become a vicious cycle of absolute garbage. How do I know? I've spent over $20 million on Facebook ads, made hundreds of millions of dollars. I currently coach multiple seven-figure and multi-eight-figure business owners on exactly how they can scale their ads. And out of everyone that I've helped, I've noticed that when they have this one setting in place, they always crush it versus the ones that don't. All right, so let's dive into what it is that I'm talking about. And very simply, it is called pixel conditioning. Okay, there are two things. The first one is pixel conditioning. Okay, so what do I mean by pixel conditioning? It really comes down to the following. It's the signal that you're putting out there into the world. Like, for example, if I were to come outside into the streets and I would have a flag and it was a rainbow flag, all right, what do you think I'm going to be saying about myself? And on top of that, let's say my hair was blue. And let's say on top of that, my nose was pierced. Are you starting to get a bit of a picture right now? And let's say I was angry all the time. Who are my people? Probably it's going to be the transformer community, right? You know what I'm talking about? Now, on the other hand, if I were to, for example, come through and I were to have a tie on, right? And let's say I was holding a briefcase, right? Maybe I was wearing a Rolex watch. What kind of a signal am I giving there? What kind of people would have more of an affinity towards me in each of these cases? And that's exactly what pixel conditioning is, right? When we go out and we tell Facebook that we want people that hit this criteria, we want people that hit this criteria and this criteria. This is our audience. And I'll give you a very tangible example of one of my students, okay? He came to me and he was like, hey, you know what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy Alex Becker's best performing ad. And in that ad, I'm basically going to say, hey, cleaning companies, all right, I want you to work with me. If you do X thing, maybe you're doing over $100,000 a year in revenue, you've already tried ads, et cetera, et cetera. So he had his entire criteria internally. And then what he was doing is he started running these ads. And I mean, it was decent creative, don't get me wrong. But what soon started to happen is that he was getting everyone that was doing less than 100,000. Like his bare bottom criteria, he was getting a lot of those people. In fact, he was getting people that weren't even cleaning companies. He was getting a bunch of people that needed cleaning done. And so you look at that and you're like, how the heck did that happen? Even though I had the great creatives, even though I was doing everything right. I mean, I'm using Alex Becker's ads over here. What's going wrong? And this is the issue. It's pixel conditioning. All right, so let me tell you very specifically. If you don't put barriers and constraints around your Facebook pixel, what's going to end up happening is that you're going to let in a whole bunch of people and they're going to be triggering the pixel event, right? This could be the lead event. This could be the schedule event. This could even be the sale, the purchase event, right? Whatever it is that you're optimizing for at the ad set level. And then what happens is that as more of the wrong people start triggering this, dude, it is a bloodbath. Facebook keeps finding more of those people, brokies, people that don't even need your service or can't afford your service or whatever you have it. So here's the easiest way to make sure that your pixel gets the right people. So you have an ad, right? And naturally, it's going to go to your landing page. Now, on a landing page, usually people have a quiz, all right? They have a quiz. Now, in the quiz, they ask a bunch of questions, right? Question 1, question 2, question 3, and then maybe over here, question 1, let's get more specific, is like a revenue, right? What is your revenue? And then they'll have like 4 options, right? Usually this is like low to high revenue. And then usually they'll say something, for example, what's your role, right? And it's going to be like owner, and it's going to be, I'm the CMO, or it's going to be like I'm a salesperson or some like unqualified crap, right, that they don't really want to go for. The thing is that the best companies out there, how they condition their pixel is by making sure that anyone that is, for example, low on the revenue side, or they're not the owner, they don't trigger the pixel. Okay, so they set up what you would call conditional logic on their quizzes. This is something that pretty much out the gate I recommend everyone sets up. Okay, if someone gets to your landing page and they start filling out your quiz, do not let everyone fire the pixel. That's different to do not let everyone through. I'd say let everyone through. Get on as many sales calls as you possibly can, but be warned. If you let people that are low revenue, or if they're not the owner, or whatever other criteria you have, you let them trigger your pixel, you're going to get more crap. Just saying in your ad, so-and-so business owner is doing over $50,000 a month. That doesn't attract good quality, okay? You want to actually have your pixel get seasoned or conditioned with the right data, all right? That is one very powerful thing to do. I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty of how you do it on Go High Level or HubSpot or Salesforce. Regardless of what you're using, make sure that you start scoring, in other words, having a different tier for everyone. So for example, if someone triggers that they're the owner and they're like doing high revenue, usually this is going to, yes, trigger the pixel, but it's also going to go to your best salesperson. This is a little bit advanced, but this is actually what it takes to make sure that your pixel gets to the right people. And over time, if the pixel is only being triggered, again, that pixel, right? If it's only being triggered by these people, then what's going to end up happening is that you're going to have a pixel that starts attracting more of these people when you're running ads. The second way to do this is what you would call look-alike audiences, right? This is where, say, for example, you have a customer list. So these are people that you've already sold in the past. Ideally, you have 500 plus people on the list, and then it's going to be personal emails and phone numbers if you want to do a look-alike of that. Otherwise, you can just do a look-alike of people that have already become a lead, people that have already scheduled. Now, provided you were already gating your pixel event, then doing a lookalike of these is going to be very powerful for you, right? A lookalike of sale, even a lookalike of people that have seen 75% of your video, right? That's going to be a very powerful audience to go after, all right? And this is ultimately how you're able to then scale your agency to, or your business as a whole. I mean, even if you're not an agency owner, you can get to, 100K months. This is absolutely what people that are doing over $1 million a month are doing. They do not let anyone trigger their pixel, and they're also going after the highest quality audience by putting in and feeding at the ad set level a high quality type of data, which will come through again, custom list, lead, schedule, sale, and then even video views, right? So these are some of the best ways that you can do this, and I hope this was helpful to you. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.